Kia oras. Hello everyone. It is my great pleasure to present to you our freshly renewed Master Finance programs. Before I start, let me briefly introduce about myself. My name is Hung Do. I am an associate professor in finance at Massey, and I am also the director of the Master Finance programs. Now, in this presentation, I would like to make you be confident that you have made or you are going to make the best decision by studying the Master Finance with us. Right. Now, in this slide is the outline of the contents that I would like to cover in this presentation. Firstly, I will discuss some facts and the reasons on why you should study finance at Massey, regarding to the quality and the reputation of our programs, regarding the best learning experience and the best future careers prospect that we can deliver via the Master Finance program. Then I will give an overview about the Master Finance programs and how it is designed and structured to achieve the state-of-the-art in teaching and learning experience, and which subsequently will lead to the best outcomes of our students. Next, I will introduce to you some of our best teachers. So as you might know, no high-quality program is lack of the high-quality teachers. In our school, the School of Economics and Finance, we are lucky enough to have finance teachers who are among the best in New Zealand. We have published their research findings in the top-tier journal, and who also have won the national prize for teaching excellence, who have extensive practical experience working in finance industry or doing substantial advisory work with multiple financial entity and organization. And then after that, I will introduce to you some information regarding to the assessment and the survey results that we obtained from previous students and also from external advisors on our programs. Then after that, I'll give you the credit profiles of our previous Master Finance students. So in that sense, you can have some ideas about the job prospect that you can expect after you finish the Master Finance program. All right. So first, why you should study finance at Massey. So one of the most important factors that drive you to choose a program to study is the quality of those programs, right? Normally, there's need to be a reliable and reputable third party that can independently and rigorously assess this quality. And if the programs pass the high quality standards, it's going to be given the accreditation from this third party professional body. And our school, the School of Economics and Finance, is one of the 5 individual schools within the Massey Business School. So the Massey Business School has many national and international accreditation. Now, these accreditations ensure that the business programs, including our finance programs that we offer, are at the highest standards worldwide. So this makes sure that your qualifications are internationally recognized, right? So those in this slide are the accreditations that is obtained by the Massey Business School. So if we look at finance particularly, then there's 3 most popular association in the field of finance that is related to the Massey finance discipline. That is the AACSP, the CFA, and the GAFS. So this accreditation ensures our finance programs are among the highest quality programs in the world. So what are these? First, the AACSP stands for the Association to Advanced Collegiate School of Business. So this accreditation to ensure that the business program offered by the top business school are at the highest standards. And so do us. We are very similar to other top business schools in the world who have maintained this accreditation year by year. So to give you some example about the top business school have maintained this accreditation, that is Harvard and Stanford in the US, London Business School, London of Economics and Political Science, in the UK, and Melbourne University, University of New South Wales, and Monash University in Australia are all maintain this accreditation, and so does Massey. We also maintain this accreditation to ensure that our business programs are at the highest standards. And there's 2 others associations that is mostly relevant to the Master Finance program, that is the CFA and the GAF. So the CFA stands for the Chartered Financial Analyst. So this association aims to ensure the highest standards in finance and investment profession, while the GAF stands for the Global Association of Risk Professionals, which aims to ensure the best practice in risk management profession. So it means when we obtain the academic partnership with the CFA and the GAF for our Master of Finance program, which means that we ensure that we will deliver the best practice and the best solid foundation and in-depth knowledge to our students in the fields of finance, investment, and risk management. So this will open the door for a bright future career in this profession. All right. Now, another kind of facts that ensure the quality of our programs is the ranking, taking into account several key factors to determine the quality of MESI as a whole, such as research, teachings, employability, internationalization, facilities, online distance learning, and innovation, and so on. MESI is ranked in the highest category that the QS star rating system can rate. That is the 5-star plus. So this ensures that MESI is among the top university in the world that can deliver the best teaching and learning experience to our students. So specifically for finance, we are ranked in the top 200 university internationally by the QS World University Ranking. All right. Now, if we take into account that most of the very top universities are located in the US, say for example the Ivy League University or Oxford and Cambridge in the UK, we can say that in the Asian Pacific regions and particularly Australians and New Zealand, MESI stay as one of the top university in the region. All right. Okay, so that is those for some facts and reasons on why you should study finance at MESI. Now we're going to introduce to you the detailed information about the Master of the Finance programs that we offer. So firstly, let's have a look at the overviews information of our Master of Finance programs. So this is actually our flagship programs, and we invest a lot of resource and knowledge and also experience in building the Master of Finance program in order to deliver to you the highest contents and experience as possible. So this got the best brand names, the Master of Finance, and in fact, our Master of Finance programs is very popular, not only domestically in New Zealand, but also internationally as well. So we have a large cohort of students coming from China, come from Vietnam, come from Malaysia, and all around the world. And we allocate the best teachers to be involved in teaching the Master of Finance program. All right, and therefore we have the best placement of the students that have graduates from the Master of Finance who have got jobs from top international banks like HSBC, like in Australians or New Zealand bank. They got jobs in hedge fund and they got job in large corporation with a very attractive paying job. Okay, and in order to build the content of the Master of Finance, the Master of Finance or the MFIN program that we call in short is actually a combination of rigorous academic curriculums and also the best practice-oriented approach. So we doing this by aligning our MFIN program with the curriculums of the CFA and the GAF. That is, we are making sure that our program will deliver to the learners solid foundation, in-depth knowledge and understanding about the real-world problems to develop their bright careers in finance, in investment, and in risk management profession. So in our course, the students of MFINs are also enhanced with real-world experience via the participation in the trading rooms activities and students' investment fund. So in the trading room, students can have access to the most up-to-date financials and investment analysis, the financial data around the world via the Bloomberg terminals. Together with the Student Investment Club and the Investment Fund, students can have chance to experience how to manage real money in investment and performing financial activity, including financial risk management. So these activities with real money will be guided and inspired by experienced professionals and researchers who are invited speakers to the investment fund club and club as well, right? So therefore, the students can do networking, socializing, and having fun together while studying finance with us. So that is the very plus point for our Master of Finance program compared to others programs. All right, now let's go into a little bit more detail about the program structure of the Master of Finance. From this year, students have the option to choose from the professional pathway or the research pathway. So with the professional pathway, we have the risk analytics specialization. And for the research pathway, we have the specialization called financial analytics and research. And both options are sharing the same path one. It means in the path one, the student need to complete 120 credits. That means they need to complete 4 out of the 5 courses that's listed in the slide. And the star over here denotes for the compulsory course. It means that the student need to take those courses. All right. One thing that I would like to note over here that we accept students with any bachelor degree as long as their average of the student third year courses is B- on average. So if the student's backgrounds in the undergrad qualification is not in finance, then the student must study the managerial finance in the first semester together with the research and analytics in economic and finance courses. All right. And if students have the finance background in their undergraduate qualification, then they can choose the 4 courses called Advanced Financial Risk Management, Research and Analytics in Economic and Finance, Advanced Corporate Finance, and Advanced Investment Analysis. All right. And the other thing is worth noting here that students can start either in the first semester or in the second semester, or say another way, in February or in July for both pathway. Okay. Now, regarding to the program features for each of the options that we offer to students within the Master of Finance programs, we have like for the risk analytics or the professional pathway, the duration is only 1 year. That includes the summer semester. And for the research pathway, the duration is 1.5 years. And one thing I would like to note over here is that both of the pathway will consume 3 semesters to deliver all of the course. But the risk analytics specialization or the professional pathway can take an advantage of the summer semesters to make the progress faster. All right, and in the professional pathway, the student can take the summer semester to study the part 2 of the professional pathway. Meanwhile, in the research pathway, the student need to take the research components within the first semester or in the second semester only, not in the summer semester. All right. Now, for the professional pathway, we align the curriculums with the CFA and the GAF1, and therefore it is purely practical-oriented degrees, even though the student still have to study some research methods to build up their research skill, but they do not actually do the research report that consumes 60 credits like the research pathway. All right. And in the research pathway, we make the curriculums is aligned with the CFA curriculums, and we spend the second part to devote to for the student to conduct the research report. Okay, so therefore in the financial analytic and research options, the student will have both practice and research oriented degree. And therefore in the research pathway, after finishing the Master of Finance, the students can conduct or can apply to the PhD degree. But one thing need to be noted over here is that if the student would like to apply for PhD after completing the Master of Finance program, the students must choose a research pathway, of course, and must achieve at least B+ on average on the whole program. The good news is that if the student gets an A- on average or above, then the students can apply for the Massey PhD full scholarship. That will include the tuition fees and also 25,000 per year for living allowance for 3-year duration of the PhD study. Okay. And one thing that I would like to note over here is that nowadays there's many research positions open in the big financial institution and also the government body. They require the PhD degree. So therefore, with the research pathway, it's going to be suitable for students who wish to pursue careers as a professional and also as a researcher. And they can also work in the industry as a researcher or the government body as well. Meanwhile, for the risk analytics, it's going to be suitable for students who wish to pursue careers as a professional in finance, in investment, and in risk management. So one thing that is a plus point over here for the both pathway, that we provide the flexibility for students to choose the option. It means that after the first semester, the students can switch between the pathway, all right? But there's come with a limitation. It does, in order to go into the research pathway, it requires at least B+ in the research and analytics in economic and finance, because it is the foundation course to build up the research skill and research methods for students to conduct a research report. That's why we require that the student need to achieve at least B+ in this course in order to choose their research pathway option. Okay. Now, as we said before, the high quality program always come with the high quality teacher, and it's luckily that in our school, the School of Economic and Finance, we have the best finance teachers in New Zealand. We have won numerous national prize for teaching excellence, and will also have a very high profile in research. They also have a lot of positions in finance industry, in a number of the board committees, and so on. Now, the first teacher that I would like to introduce to you is Professor Martin Youngs. So Professor Youngs published several A-star and A-rank articles in finance discipline, and A-star and A-rank journals are among the best journals in the finance discipline. All right. So the scale for that is A-star at the highest, then A and B and C. So you can see that our teachers are always published in the top journal. Professor Youngs also held senior positions in the financial industry in New Zealand, and he's a member of the New Zealand Stock Exchange for many years, and currently is a vice president of Asian Finance Association and vice president international of the Academy of Financial Service. And he's also the New Zealand's representative on the Asian Shadows Financial Regulatory Committee. The second teacher that I would like to introduce to you is Professor Hamish Anderson. So Professor Anderson also published several A-star and A-rank articles in the finance disciplines, and he is Pearson's accounting finance lecturer for the years of 2009. He have won the National Teaching Excellence Awards for Certain Excellence in 2008, and he also won the Massey University Vice Chancellor Awards for Certain Teaching Excellence in 2008. He's a qualified chartered accountant and has worked with Big Four accounting firm. Professor Ben Marshall has published even in top few journals in finance. So this is among the top 3 finance journals in the world. That's called the Review of Financial Study. And of course, he's also published several others A-star and A-rank articles as well. And he's ranked in the top 1% of the authors on the International Working Paper website SSRN based on his download. So this shows the impact of his work to the finance discipline, not only in academia alone, but also to the industry as well. And he has done several consulting work for financial entity and corporations such as Fletcher's Building Limited, New Zealand Stock Exchange, and so on. Associate Professor Jing Chi got a PhD from University of Reading, UK, and she is the CFA charter holder. She's published several A-star and A-rank articles, and she was awarded 2013 New Zealand National Charities Teaching Excellence Award. Work on the IPOs in Huatai Security Company in China, and she's also worked as an analyst in the London Stock Exchange. Professor Nuta Was has also published in top few journals in finance, Review of Financial Study, and also published in several others A-star and A-rank journal as well. He's also the CFA charter holder and a member of the CFA Society of New Zealand. He's the director of the CFA Program Partnership, and to be added, I am also the director of the Gulf Program Partnership. So we are together. We try to ensure that the content delivered in the Master of Finance will achieve the highest standards for the professions of finance, investment, and risk management. And Professor Nuta Was has the research that's discussed in a number of the newspapers, MarketWatch, New York Times, CNN, and so on. And he's the Dean Chairs in Finance. And the last teachers that I would like to introduce to you via this presentation is Associate Professor Russo. So Professor Russo also published several A-Star and A-Ranks articles, and he worked several years at Rutgers University and also as an investment officer in the largest private pension fund in the world. And the good news is he's also a mentor and instructor for the Massey Students Investment Funds. Of course, over here I can only select some of our best teachers to introduce to you. And in our school, there's many others best finance teachers in New Zealand as well. So that we ensure that you are, as a Master of Finance student, you will be studying with the best teachers to ensure that we deliver the best experience of learning and teaching that you can enjoy. All right. Now, I would like to give you some of the endorsement that the external advisors that's give to us, and also the students' survey result that highlight the quality and the attractiveness of our program. So William Mays is the Senior Vice President of the Gulf Association, the Global Association of Risk Professionals. He got an assessment on our programs like this. The Risk Analytics Specialization is a comprehensive program that provides detailed knowledge of the best practice in financial risk management with a practical-oriented approach. The program is well designed to prepare its students to meet the rising demands for risk management professionals, offering them a solid foundation for pursuing the financial risk manager's designation as well. Right. And the 2020 students experience survey results showing that 86% of students on this program were satisfied with the teachings they have received. 100% highlight thus the teaching staff engaged them actively in learning, and 100% highlight that the programs has given them excellent ability to work with others. Now, in this year, we even enhanced the qualities of our programs to a higher level. Thus, we aligns our programs not only with CFA curriculum but also with the Gulf curriculum as well, in order to ensure that we deliver the highest standards to progress the students to the finance, investment, and risk management professions in their future career. All right, and now over here I would like to briefly give you some credit profiles about previous Master Finance students. So this will give you some idea about the job prospect that you can expect after you graduate from the program. So you can see that over here we are always very proud of our Master Finance students because they done very well and they got very good job after the graduation. Of course, this is just a short list of the students because of the limited times, but from this list you can see the diversities of the job prospect that you can expect. They have worked in bank, they have worked in investment funds, in many other financial institutions. They can also work in the corporation like Fonterras, or they can work in the big four accounting firm like KPMG's and something like that. All right. So for brief conclusions, our Master Finance program deliver knowledge and real-world experience in a very collaborative way. It is very much a roundtable discussion. Student presents to other students in their class, their group work, there are applied projects, there are lots of skills that are generic skills that can be applied in any setting and in any discipline that are learned on the Master Finance program, particularly in finance discipline, investment discipline, and risk management discipline. So that is the end of my presentations, and I would like to thank you very much for your listenings, and we are looking forward to welcoming you at Massey.
Greetings. Welcome to our annual presentations of postgraduate qualifications that you can undertake here at Massey University. My name's Dr. Andrew Cardo, and I am going to introduce to you the Master of Business Studies degree, which we call the MBS. The Master of Business Studies degree is what we consider our premier degree for the School of Business, in that it's the only one that has any real research attached to it. Now, this is important if you're looking to go into further academic study, like, for example, a PhD, either here or abroad. It is essential for you to do some research. This is the only degree that we offer that has a substantial amount of research that will enable you to undertake this degree. So, just allow me to go a bit further on my little presentation here. So what sort of people do we want? Ideally, we want scholars, don't we all, in terms of a university? But what we're looking for here is people, if you want to get into our degree, we have two ways. We have either starting from day one, which means that you have done an undergraduate degree and you've done no postgraduate work. Now, if you've done an undergraduate degree and no postgraduate work, you'll need a GPA of 4 in order to get into the degree, and that will take you a year and a half of full-time study or equivalent full-time study. You can pro-rata that out to your own content, and it's 180 credits. If you've done an honours degree or an honours degree equivalent, you can then do what we call a 120 credit master's degree, which is the thesis component. For that, you'll need to have an honours degree or equivalent with a GPA of 4, including research methods. Now, that's not important to do our research methods, we just need you to have done a research methods course. So they're the two pathways in. We're looking for people who can study something of their own choosing, essentially under their own steam. So we're looking at people who can write between, for a small 60 credit research report, around about 15,000 words, up to anywhere around 40 to 50,000 words for a full thesis. The benefit of doing a research degree is, one, you can prove to an employer that you can do independent research, that you can research something, you can come up with your own idea, you can write about it, and you can move the field forward. In terms of whether this will get you a job, employers are more interested in your ability to write, to read, to be able to analyse, to be able to critique, to be able to decide what is appropriate off your own bat, rather than have exacting, specific content knowledge. So this is an ideal degree for pretty much anything you want to do. You can get a job after it, hopefully, or you could stay on and go into further academic work. So, quite simply, we have the Master of Business Studies. It's a research degree. It has either a 90, 120 or 60 credit research componentry. The 120 credit is a full thesis, the 90 credit is a full thesis, and the 60 credit is a research report. The benefit of the two theses is they are externally validated. That means that people from outside Massey University will mark them, not your supervisor. You have two pathways in, direct pathway or having a postgraduate qualification of a honours degree or equivalent. You have the choice of doing 2 taught papers and a thesis, 3 taught papers and a thesis, or 4 taught papers and a research report. Whatever pathway you choose, the Master of Business Studies will be an ideal qualification, serve you well no matter what it is you want to do in the future. Thank you very much for your time. I wish you well in your future studies and look forward to seeing you here at Massey University.
Kia ora. Hello everyone, my name is Hetty Huang. I'm a senior lecturer in the School of Accountancy. It's my great pleasure to introduce the Master of Professional Accountancy and Finance program. Master of Professional Accountancy and Finance program is also known in abbreviated term MPAF. I teach management accounting to decision making in the MPAF program. MPAF program was started in 2013 and it has grown to be one of the very popular programs in the Massey Business School. MPAF program is a taught master program, whereas Master of Business with a major in accountancy is a research-based master program. One of the questions in your mind could be whether this is the right master program for me. While if you're looking for a career change in accounting and finance professions, or if your current degree is in other business subjects, or even when you have a non-business degree and you're looking for a change in your career, this will be the right master program for you. This 2-year program is well designed to tailor for people who do not even have an accounting background. If you're keen on pursuing an accounting career but without a relevant bachelor degree, after completing this 2-year master program accredited by professional accounting bodies like Chartered Accountant Australia and New Zealand, CPA Australia, and ACCA, you are on the fast track of becoming a professional accountant. In terms of the admission requirements, as you can see, there is no need of an accounting-related degree. We have seen people with very diverse background, such as engineering, arts, or even medical doctors joining the program because they're looking into a change in their career or moving into a management position. This MPAF program will help them to achieve that goal by acquiring more specific knowledge and skill set in accounting and finance. Now let's look at the structure of the MPAF program. There are 2 parts. Part A is the foundation component and Part B is the advanced level accounting and finance courses. Part A sets the essential foundation for you to progress to the advanced level courses. It includes general knowledge in management, accounting, finance, economics, business law, and quantitative methods. Part B covers the more advanced skills in specific areas, such as auditing, taxation, corporate finance, financial reporting, international finance, and financial assets and risk management. The program can be done in either full-time or part-time modes. For a full-time student, it takes about 2 years to complete 16 courses, as you can see from the slide. This program is offered face-to-face in Auckland campus, as well as distance learning. This great flexibility allows you to efficiently manage your personal life and work commitment while doing the study. We have students started as a full-time student, but as a result of the change in their personal situation, they change to part-time students. We also welcome distance learning students who are based in Auckland to join the classes if they are keen. For students who prefer face-to-face mode, and they can also access the recordings of the distance learning sessions and arrange online Zoom office hours if that suits them better. To summarize, the MPAF program provides a great level of flexibility to students in terms of where, when, and how they can learn. This is a general course plan for the 2-year study of the MPAF program. You can start in either February or July. MPAF program enables you to meet the academic requirements of professional accounting and finance bodies, and to get on the fast track of becoming a professional accountant or finance expert, as you don't need to do the foundation courses required by these professional bodies. The program is accredited by Chartered Accountant Australia and New Zealand, CPA Australia, and ACCA, and it is also endorsed by CFA Institute. This is a very unique master program in New Zealand, which will give you career choices in both accountancy and finance. The program therefore allows students to take advantage of international mobility of its qualification, provide students different career options after graduating. So they can choose to work as a finance analyst, a fund manager, or a chartered accountant in any part of the world. The program is very highly recognized in the government sector and among public accounting firms in New Zealand. Many of our graduates are working in Audit New Zealand, which is the government auditor who carry out audits of public sector entities on behalf of Auditor General, whereas some others are developing their professional career in Big Four and other public accounting firms. Well, in addition to the classroom learning experiences, we also have Auckland Community Accounting and the Community Accounting Aotearoa projects, which are partnerships between the School of Accountancy and the various partners, including Foundation North, Department of Internal Affairs, Charity Services, ANCAD, Chartered Accountant Australia New Zealand, Auckland Council, RASM Accountants. It is a free service for community groups offering support and assistance on financial matters. Students, in this case, work in groups, and they are trained to provide volunteer accounting service to not-for-profit organizations. It enables students to apply the accounting and finance skills they learned in the classroom in the real situations. These projects are available for students to join either from Auckland, Palmerston North campuses, as well as via Zoom if you are a distance learning student. Students can also enjoy the vibrant campus life as we have very active accountancy club and investment club in Auckland campus, and the clubs are open to distance students as well. Nowadays, with lots of the events running virtually, distance students can join the club events from anywhere. Those who are based in Auckland can also join the face-to-face networking events organized by the club. Well, in Auckland, the accountancy club are actively engaged with the professional associations and the industry people. They organize many career-related workshops and seminars, such as Zero Cloud Accounting Software training, Power BI data analytics training, and networking events. Massey also has a trading room, which is equipped with world-class Bloomberg system for students to have a real-life experience in stock trading. In the Master of Professional Accountancy and Finance program, students will be able to take advantage of these great opportunities, which will allow them a better chance of getting their dream jobs. Well, to find out more information about MPAF program, please visit the website and our Facebook pages are shown on the slide. You can also reach us by email mpaf@massey.ac.nz. This is the end of the MPAF presentation, and thank you for your interest in the program.
Hello everybody, my name is Anka Smith and I'm here to speak to you today on behalf of the School of Aviation at Massey University about the Master of Aviation program. The Master of Aviation is a flexible program designed to meet postgraduates' greatly varying personal circumstances. You can study the entire program part-time or full-time. In addition, the program is available by distance or here on campus in Palmerston North. The flexibility appeals to aviation professionals across many sectors and countries. And you'll see here that our graduates hail from many countries and backgrounds, including military, general and commercial aviation, and the wider aviation industry, such as regulatory bodies, etc. Eligible students come from two main sectors, so who should apply for this program? First of all, students who have an undergraduate degree in an aviation discipline. Secondly, if you have been working in the aviation industry and you have what I call a complementary or relevant degree, then I also encourage you to consider this as a postgraduate option. So examples of complementary degrees include engineering, business, logistics, information sciences, defence and security studies, etc. In the latter case, if you'd like to apply for this program, not only do we need to see evidence of your undergraduate degree, but could you also provide us with a CV that details your aviation experience to date, and that helps us to assess you for entry into this postgraduate degree. The Master of Aviation, as I said, is very flexible. It's 180 credits in workload. It's available on campus or online, full-time or part-time. And additionally, we offer 2 pathways to students to consider. One of these is the research pathway, and the other one is what we call the professional practice in aviation pathway. So let's look at these. So the research pathway has 1 compulsory taught paper called Research Methods in Aviation, and then you do another 60 credits from the 4 courses listed here, one of which can be a special topic, and the others are human factors or management in aviation systems or aviation strategic management. And then you go into the research part B. And you see here you need to do at least 60 credits from these courses listed below. The professional practice pathway is more of a taught master's. So again, there are compulsory courses listed here: Management in Aviation Systems and Aviation Strategic Management. Then you have to do another 60 credits or 2 courses from the 4 I've listed here. It is possible to do a special topic in an area that you'd really like to explore in greater depth, and that you may wish to then carry on into what we call Part B. Part B is what we call your professional practice in aviation. And now this is a 60 credit course. Most students would do this over 2 semesters, not 1. Here's a little bit more detail about what that professional practice in aviation course means for you. It's divided into 2 parts: a professional development with 2 assignments, a professional development plan, and an exercise in self-directed learning. Part B involves practical problem solving. So this is very much an applied part again. You have 2 assignments, an investigation and report. Now, many students who are working in the industry are able to undertake a project on behalf of their employer that we have approved for academic credit. And so both your employer benefits as well as you. So this makes it a very interesting option when employers might want to sponsor you for postgraduate studies. So don't forget to investigate that option. And the last part is a formal presentation. Here I've listed areas of research that our aviation faculty specialise in, and this is of interest to you where you may want to engage in maybe a special topic in a particular area, or you may want to engage in research in an area, and this is where we can help you. So if you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to contact me. I've listed here some of our graduates and where they're currently working and what type of masters they did with us. So you'll see it's a mixture of military, of airport work. One of our graduates is a pilot, Sam Dawson, and Toby Flately, who's just finished his Master of Aviation Research, is working in Australia for an airport, for Swiss Port in Broome. So they have interesting comments to make about their experiences in the Masters. Now let me introduce you to Isaac Henderson. Isaac is a lecturer with the School of Aviation. He did a Master of Aviation Research with us, and he's about to graduate with his doctoral degree later this year, and he's also our in-house ARPAS consultant. Over to you, Isaac.
Hi everyone, my name's Isaac Henderson and I'm one of the lecturers here within Massey University School of Aviation. I'm going to be talking to you all today a little bit about our Masters of Aviation program. Now, you would have already heard that we have 2 distinct pathways within this program. We have a professional practice pathway and a research pathway, and either could make a lot of sense. for you, depending on what situation you're in now. If you're one of our recent graduates from our undergraduate program and you're not currently working within the industry, you're looking to do this before entering the workforce, then the research pathway would be a very good way to go, because it doesn't require you to be in charge of anything or managing any projects within any companies at the time. For those of you who are a bit further along your career progression and you're looking at this as a form of professional development or upskilling, either pathway could make sense. If you manage a lot of projects and you think one could be turned into a professional practice project, then that's one viable option. If you are wanting to do some research that could enhance something you're working on with your company, or maybe is in a completely different area so you can build a new set of expertise, then the research pathway is also a very good option. Regardless of the pathway, you're going to have a few taught papers, and then you either go into your professional practice project, or you go into doing a research project or thesis. Now, you notice that that's somewhat different to how an undergraduate program works. As an undergraduate, you're taught papers, and you have to apply that knowledge in various assignments, and you get a degree. For a master's degree, you have a few taught papers that lay the foundational knowledge that you need, but you have to do something yourself. So you're contributing, either in the professional practice pathway towards something within a company, or within the research pathway, you're contributing to new knowledge within our discipline. Now, which one you want to do, that's entirely over to you. We will provide the supervisors you need to be able to achieve what you're trying to get out of the program. So in that sense, it's a lot more flexible and it's a lot more individual than what it's like in an undergraduate program. Where does it lead to? Well, our graduates are doing all sorts of different roles within the industry. So there's people like myself who go on to become academics in the same cohort as when I went through. There were students who are now managers at airlines, at airports. They work in cargo and logistics. They consult for various companies within the sector. There's a lot of different opportunities, and each one of them did a different topic for their research or their professional practice that helped lead them into where they are now. And sometimes those topics can be things that you couldn't do within an undergraduate program. For example, I did my master's degree looking at whether airships could come back for scenic tourism purposes. And that project has led me to consult for several startups who are wanting to either build or use airships. And those skills have also been very transferable to the area of unmanned aircraft, where I now do a lot of consulting on behalf of the school. Regardless of what your topic of interest is or what you're trying to get from the program, I'm sure we can make it work. So please get in touch, and we'd love to help you with your development in this space.
Thank you, Isaac. That was really useful information. Now, for those looking for more information, we have an open day every year, and this year it's on Saturday, the 11th of September. If you would like to come and visit us, you can visit us at times outside of this, but if you want to come and see where we operate and you'd like to do it, this is on Saturday the 11th of September this year. We do ask that you register, so if you indicate that you're looking at the Masters, I can make sure we have the relevant academic faculty here to talk to you about that. Otherwise, feel free to contact me with your questions, and then I can also refer you to our academic director or one of our academic faculty if you have specific questions. I look forward to hearing from you soon, and hopefully to welcome you to the Master of Aviation program in the not too distant future. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Tel Solschnick. I'm going to talk to you about the Master of Analytics, which is Massey University's flagship postgraduate degree in data science. Now I'm going to make an assumption. I'll assume that you're either looking to upskill or reskill in the area of data science in order to take full advantage of the opportunities that exist in this job market. So to that end, the first part of my presentation is going to focus on how the whole degree has been structured in such a way to actually give you the full opportunity to maximize your career potential. The second part of the presentation will talk about what you need in order to become a data scientist, and the last one will talk a little bit about the regulations, entry requirements, and so forth. So getting a job in analytics, it's a hot market. There's a high demand for jobs in the area. But the key question is, what is the analytics labour market looking for? Well, there are three things. The first thing is you have to have theoretical foundations in place, and you've got to have skills, and those skills have to be built on practical experience that's been based on real-world assignments. The second thing that you need is proficiency with the right technologies. And yes, I did say right technologies, because there are technologies that are going to help to get your job. Lastly, we're seeing that employers are looking for work experience. So the question for us is, what can the Master of Analytics do for you in order to satisfy those three requirements? So what you see here is the structure of our degree. It's got three components to it. The first one is what we call the core. And in the core component, you are exposed to four core courses where we learn the foundations of programming. So you learn how to script, you learn how to interface with databases, and you get taught by computer scientists like myself. Then you learn how to do statistical analyses. You learn how to do multivariate analysis, data mining, machine learning, and this you're taught by statisticians. And the last course in this component is econometrics, taught by our very capable econometricians. Once you pass these four courses, you progress onto the specialization component. And here you have choices. You can either choose the business specialization or the health specialization. If you choose the business specialization, you've got another two choices. You can either go down the marketing track or down the finance track. Whichever track you go down on, specialization, what you will be taking is the theory and the skills you learnt in the core courses, and you will be applying them to the domain of your choosing. So these two components actually answer that first critical requirement that the job industry has of our data scientists: theory plus skills. Once you pass the specializations, you move on to our internship component. Sometimes we call this the practicum or the capstone project. And this is a really exciting component, because once you've completed the first two, you're then ready to be sent out into the real world. And so we have industry partners who take on our students. And our students then are deployed to answer, to tackle some of the difficult real-world questions and problems that these companies have. So we'll return to the internships, but the internships answer that last requirement of the industry, to have work experience. Technologies. So what are the technologies that we cover in this degree? Well, the first one is Python, which is a programming language. Then we heavily utilize SAS. Now SAS, if you don't know, is the world leading producer, developer of analytics software, and we're fortunate enough to have them as our sponsors. You learn how to program in R, as well as how to interface with databases using SQL. Now you might ask yourself, okay, well, how popular are these technologies? Are they the right technologies that are going to give me a job? So how do we answer that question? Well, fortunately, there was a recent study that was done that looked into this. And what the study did was, it collated 30,000 job adverts that were looking for data scientists, data analysts, machine learning specialists. And what they did was, they collated all the references to the technologies in those job adverts and ordered those technologies by frequency. So what did they come up with? Well, Python came first, R second, SQL third, and SAS was the sixth most popular technology in demand. So you can safely be assured that the technologies that we are using are the right technologies that are going to enable you to put your best foot forward in order to get that job that you're after. What is more, once you graduate from Master Analytics, you also get a SAS certificate. And SAS certification is not always the cheapest, and you get this for free as part of your diploma. So let's return to the internships. So you take all the theoretical, all the skills that you've learned in the program, and you apply them to the real world problem. And this is one of the biggest draw cards for our program. But one of the most wonderful things about this component of our degree is that you get to develop mastery of your skills as a data scientist. You get to develop a sense of confidence in your ability to tackle real world problems and produce value using data science. You also get a chance to develop soft skills, such as the ability to communicate your technical findings to an audience of decision makers, which is not easy to replicate within a university environment. We are the only university to be offering this kind of an opportunity as well. And the other thing to keep in mind is these internships, they open up doors and opportunities. A number of our students, a number that I have supervised, have ended up with job offers at the end of their internships as well. So, who are the companies that we partner with? So what you see here is a mixture of large, very well-known banks, got insurance companies, we have large retailers, and we have government agencies as well. And the other thing to emphasize is they keep coming back each year, wanting to take on our students, which is also evidence that we're producing students that have the right skills and the right theoretical grounding in order to tackle the problems that they have. So, what are your job prospects going to look like once you graduate? Well, if we look at the government's forecasts for various job titles, they have one for data analyst, but that covers data scientists as well. You'll see there that the job prospects are good, and they will remain good. There is a shortage of data scientists, and that's not going to change anytime soon. And if you look at the salary component, it's also quite healthy as well, and I think that's quite a strong incentive. Alright, so you want to be a data scientist, what do you need? It goes without saying, you have to love problem solving. As a data scientist, you are going to be doing problem solving all day and every day. You're going to be trying to find efficiencies for the employer, for the company that you're working with. You're going to be trying to find better ways to make decisions. Those are all problems that you will be tackling. You need to be curious. Data scientists, they develop innovative new products. And so you need to be curious in the sense of you need to be the one that's formulating new questions and digging always deeper in the data in order to find those data insights, those data products that change things radically. It also goes without saying, you have to like data and you have to love working with it. You can be a quant, can be quantitative, but you can also be qualitative. Both those qualities are important. Alright, so in terms of regulations for the degree, what's required? Well, you need to have a bachelor's degree. And you need to have a minimum of B average in your final year courses as well. One of the requirements that we have is that you need to have a second stage statistical course under your belt in order to be permitted entry. Sometimes we find that students, a lot of the time students don't have that prerequisite, but sometimes your prior work experience will actually enable you to get accredited, get that component accredited and gain entry into the course. Otherwise, a number of our students do bridging statistics courses as well prior to commencing with a degree, and those courses are available. And you can do those in your own time by distance. And lastly, I want to emphasize that you You can study at your own pace, wherever you are. Our entire qualification, including the capstone project, is delivered by distance, and it's delivered full-time or part-time, so it can suit your needs. If you have any further questions, you can refer to Daniel Parker, who's the administrator for this program, and you can see his contact details. Otherwise, you can contact me as well.
Thank you for your interest in the Master of Management here at Massey University. This program is an ideal pathway to advance your career as it is internationally recognised, practice-based, designed to give you a global perspective on management and business and develop your communication skills. While this is traditionally an 18-month program, you can now complete it in just 12 months, but more about this shortly. When you graduate from the Master of Management, you'll be very much prepared for the business world. You'll have an international perspective on your area of study. You'll have developed skills and knowledge through real-world investigation. You'll be able to clearly and concisely communicate in both oral and written form. And finally, you'll be able to work independently and in teams with colleagues, clients, and other professionals in your field. The Master of Management is delivered in 2 distinct parts, usually over 3 semesters. In Part 1, you'll take the foundation core courses and studies in your area of specialisation. In Part 2, you'll complete the Capstone Professional Practice course. So going into your first semester, you'll complete courses in transferable skills for the workplace and an introduction to your specialisation. In your second semester, you'll complete 2 courses in your area of study. Then, moving to Part 2 of the program, in your third and final semester, you'll complete the culminating Professional Practice course. This course gets you out into the business world through an action investigation. You can enrol in the 18-month Master of Management program on any Massey campus or online and choose from specialisations in agribusiness, communication, financial economics, HRM, international business, journalism, management, marketing and sustainability. Alternatively, you can enrol in the streamlined 12-month program on the picturesque Manawatu campus and study agribusiness, communication, financial economics, HRM or management. Here, you'll study over Semester 1, Semester 2 and summer school in the year you enrol. For more information, please look for the Master of Management on the Massey University website, call us on 0800 Massey, find us on Facebook or contact the Program Director by email or phone. We look forward to seeing you on campus or online as you take charge and advance your career with a Master of Management degree from Massey University. Thank you.
Hi there, my name's Mandy Welsh. I work for Massey Executive Development and I look after the MBA program, the Executive MBA program at Massey University. So today we're going to be talking about those 2 programs in particular. And I wanted to also let you know that I look after our alumni. So I look after the whole journey when people are interested in starting the program right through to when they're finished and they're alumnus with us. We keep engaged. We are a community in this particular part of the university. So if you have a look at the slide that's up there now, why consider our MBA at Massey? You can see all the details. This is actually just an MBA, once you know what it's all about, is like ice cream. It's a thing that you know, but the difference between all of the options that you have is the flavour. The flavour we have at Massey is that we care deeply, deeply about our students and how they progress and what they want to do and what they want to get out of the program. We also teach on the weekends, which is really important for us, and we have a flexible option with our online and then our full-time MBA. Most people, when they start thinking about an MBA, need to be very clear about their why. Why are they interested in taking this journey? There's a lot of time and money involved in this process, so be very clear about what you want to achieve. Are you looking for a bridge, or are you looking for a ladder? Or is it something completely different? Where in your career are you, and what do you aspire to do going forward? Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The only person you are destined to become is the person that you decide to be, and there is never the best time to do an MBA or an executive MBA. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith and start looking towards the future and make a start with some study. In this slide, we're looking at the C's of the MBA or the EMBA, and you can see them listed there: capability, capacity, confidence, connections, and courage. But also, if you think about that, it's about knowing more, it's about doing more, it's about trying more, it's about relating more, and sometimes it's just about doing it, getting on and doing it. You can see in this slide that we're talking about accreditation, really important if you're looking at going overseas. Massey might not be known to somebody in Korea, but what they will do is they'll know the accreditations that we have. AACSB is a university accreditation for the business school, but AMBA, the Association of MBAs, is just for this program. And we have the longest accreditation period you can get, so you can have confidence in what we're giving you. It's a quality stamp, and it is really important when you're comparing with other programs to see what the quality stamps are. And you can also check out website for ranking information. On this slide you can see the options that we have. The Executive MBA sits at the top, and then underneath are our two options for the MBA, online and full-time. The Executive MBA focuses on strategic leadership, and we have one intake a year, which is in February. We have an airport offering, and that's on the apron of the airport. So there's hotels around the airport that we do our teaching in, and there are shuttles that go backwards and forwards. And they're for our regional partners, for people who fly in and fly out. We make it really easy for you to do your study with us. And the other one is here on the Albany campus in Auckland. The MBA focuses on leading edge technology. And so we have 3 intakes a year for that. You can do it in March, July and November, and each of the courses are available 3 times a year, so incredible flexibility as well as the length of time it can take to finish. And all of our courses are taught by pracademics. So that means these people have been engaged in the industry that they're teaching, as well as being highly skilled from an academic point of view. So is the MBA right for you? The Executive MBA, is it right for you? So you need at least 3 years work experience, and you need 7 years work experience and 3 years in management. We like you to have a degree, but we look at the whole person. So if you don't, please contact us, because there are some pathways that we can give you. 40% of the learning comes from those in the classroom. So we're looking for the gift that people bring, the experience that they've had, the knowledge that they have learned. Because when you're problem solving, having many tools in the toolbox is absolutely fabulous for you. And that's what we're trying to give you. The 2 options for our classes for the Executive MBA are in Albany, as I said before, on the campus in Auckland, and that's every 3rd weekend. So you come in for a Saturday, Sunday, 3 weeks later you come in for a Saturday, and then that course is finished and you're starting to get ready for the next course. So we're not in semesters, we're outside of that. For the Auckland Airport, you come together every 6th weekend, and you come in on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and as I said before, that's for our regional partners. So it's brilliant. You fly in on the Friday, we start at 10 o'clock, you then do your class on the Friday, the Saturday and the Sunday, finish at 4 o'clock, and you fly home, or drive home of course. There's enormous diversity in this class. We have people who come from Kirikiri in the north to Invercargill in the south. And those people come together with learnings from the businesses that they're engaged in. They might be an owner-operator, they could be involved in agriculture, they could work in government in Wellington, they could be in not-for-profit, or they could be in a small to medium-sized business. So that learning comes from a great diversity of people in the room. There's a really strong focus on strategy, governance, leadership and personal growth. The key competencies for the EMBA are listed here, but along with that there are other competencies that we're looking for. We're going to help you with resilience. We're going to help you with personal currency. We're going to enhance business performance. We're going to have critical analysis. And we're going to teach you about the language of business so you can't be bamboozled by words that other people use when they think you don't understand. The distinct features of our Executive MBA are listed here. We work with a regional development agency, and that really helps people to understand how the regions function and the difficulties that they can have. But also we get in-depth knowledge. We talk to businesses all the time in this regional development group. And so you get to engage with businesses and learn from them, learn their challenges, and then you start to work with them so that you can help them with the challenges, and you can also improve your learning. We have executive coaching, and we work a lot with reflective practice. Really important that you start thinking about the things that you're doing, and then you can go back to them later. And we have lots of guest speakers coming into the class. If you have a look on our Facebook page, Massey MBA, you will see us posting about who the guest speakers are in the classroom, and you might be surprised how high level some of those speakers are. The courses themselves, it's a 240 credit program. There are 14 courses, and you do one course at a time. You'll see here that the Albany is listed on one side and Airport is on the other. They're actually offset. They don't run one after the other like they're listed here. And that's so that if something comes up and you can't do one course, you could then go and do it in Albany if you're an Airport cohort. So that gives you a little bit of flexibility in the first year. Once you've learnt all you can from those people in those classes in the second year, we actually have all the classes together. And again, that gives you the opportunity to learning from other people in the classroom. The really good thing are there are no exams. So we do tests in class for some of the courses, but no end of semester exams. So you learn the material and you move on. I've said before, one intake a year, February. When you finish the first part of the Executive MBA, you need to have a B- average, and then you can move on to Part B the second year. This year we were so excited, everybody went straight through. So you can do it if you work hard. Really important, we're going to support you all the way. You just have to work hard. The MBA journey itself, you can see in here 20 months, and then you do some research. The costs involved with the program are significant, but all of the course material and the books are included in the cost, and we also do catering while you're in at class. There are scholarships available, and we had 13 allocated in the last 12 months. And then also if you work for the Defence Force, that can be applied, that reduction of cost can be applied as well to our costing. The age range is 29 to 59, so big, broad age range. Lots of experience in there and lots of learning, and people come from all over New Zealand. 70% of people who finish the program have already got an improved role. And so that's really exciting. Many change jobs. But one really good point is that 31 to 35% actually stay within their company, which means that the companies actually value the program, which is just so exciting that you can stay within your organisation and really help them to improve. There's also a real uptake in entrepreneurship and people starting their business. So at the bottom of the screen, you can see that 98% after 3 years have improved their role. They're a really small percent at the end. Those people there have probably started their business. And so it takes a while to get the wheels moving. Again, if you look at our website, we've got some interviews with some of our alumnus talking about that entrepreneurial journey. The other thing I want to tell you is that you make friends for life and that it is fun. It is hard work. You do have to put in lots of hours, but they got a lot of enjoyment, and people are still connecting many, many years after they've finished studying. On here is the postgraduate certificate. This is actually a pathway that some people are using to come into the Executive MBA. So if you don't have a degree, and we have to go through a slightly separate process to get your approval, they might suggest that you do the postgraduate certificate with us. They are Executive MBA classes. So you come in, join the class. Nobody knows whether you're doing that or the Executive MBA. And if you pass those 4 courses, you can then progress onto the Executive MBA. Now let's talk about the MBA. I think I've said before that the MBA is offered in 2 modes. One is full-time and one is online. The focus of this is on management and leadership. And so you can see the details there. The key competencies here are listed. So they're very similar to the Executive MBA. But there is a really good technology savviness that comes in with this one here. And that's because we're going to really push you out of your comfort zone. The MBA, the online MBA, takes 2 to 5 years. Now, it is listed on one of the slides that you've seen, the 18 months. If you are working part-time or not working at all, you can do the online MBA in 18 months. But most people take it one course at a time, over 2 years. But you know, we're all adults and life happens, so sometimes it needs to take a little bit longer. So you can take up to 5 years to do that. And because the courses are offered 3 times a year, you can opt in and opt out. So you might do course 1 and course 2, take a break, course 3, do 4 and 5, and come back then and do course 3. And we can help you with that all the way along. So these are not recorded classes. I need to emphasise that. The online MBA are not recorded classes, and you do not need to attend class 3 evenings a week. The material is available 24/7. All the material is uploaded so that you can see it, but we do strongly encourage you to come to our weekly workshop. It's between 7 and 9, one night a week, and you can engage with the academic and also with your classmates. You do group work, so you definitely do engage with people in the class. We just do one course at a time for the online MBA, and then you connect with those classmates during the week and when you're doing your assessments. The full-time is a 1-year program. You're doing 2 courses at the same time. So the workload is really heavy. For the first couple of courses, we wouldn't recommend that you work at all. You need to get into the rhythm. And then once you've got those under the belt, you could work up to about 20 hours a week. It's very immersive, I would have to say. Okay, so here's a slide about the online MBA. You can see there Dr. Jeff Stangl is using the Lightbox. And it's very, very interactive. It's really quite fun. So what I suggest that you do is go onto our website, www.massey.ac.nz/study-MBA, and you'll be able to see a video on there about our online program and some of the really cool stuff that we're using at the moment. We work with Wiley, and so they're a world leader in online learning. So here are the MBA courses. 180 credits, 10 courses, 3 intakes a year. Each course takes 7 weeks. And you, as I said, opt in, opt out. You complete part 1 with a B- average. Now there's a list on this slide about specialisations. The first 2 are available in class in Albany. The other one, digital transformation, is available online, but you can also select not to have a specialisation. So if you select a specialisation, you also need to do your active learning project in that topic. And the really cool thing is that you don't have to decide before you start or as you start. As you go through the program, you can then, we will give you a presentation about each of those specialisations, and then you can make your selection. The MBA is 18 months part-time. I know I've said this before, but I do need to just keep reiterating for you if you are working part-time. 150 hours per course, so that's about 21 hours a week. We talk about along these programs, the Executive MBA and the MBA, little and often. Little and often, little and often. So let's study a couple of hours every night so that you can have some time off in the weekend. Again, with the MBA, the fees include the study materials and the ebooks that we use. You can apply to StudyLink, and there are also awards for this particular program. This applies to the MBA only. There are 3 $2,000 awards. So the first one is for a high GPA in your undergraduate degree. The second is for 5 years relevant work experience. And the third is if you have additional masters, and you can accumulate all of those so that you can have up to $6,000. At the moment for our online MBA, the majority of our students are based in New Zealand, but we currently have Kiwis who are in Russia, the UAE, Japan and South Africa. And we also have some of international students joining us from all over the world. So the learning that you are going to get is really, really exciting. I want to tell you about the support we offer. Massey is amazing at wrapping support around students. I'm sure you've already heard this, but within the MBA office, we have a group of people who look after our MBA and EMBA students exceptionally. We have our own orientation so that we set you up really well for the learning. We also have personalised learning journeys. And we also have a career accelerator. Now with the career accelerator, we're talking about things like personal branding, about your LinkedIn profile. We're talking about interview techniques and job searching. And then for professional development, we do things like presentation skills and media training, which probably I need to go on. So there we go. And then the other thing is social events. 3 times a year, we have social events where we bring all of the intakes together, EMBA and MBA students, and they get to interact with each other face to face. So the last thing is start your journey. Start your journey with us. We are here to help. I can send you more information about the costs, about timetables. We have a decision tree if you can't decide between which program, which is the best one for you. We also have our own information evenings. So we have them specifically for the MBA, specifically for the Executive MBA, and we also have some where you're trying to decide between the two. And we have recordings of those so we can also share them with you. On our webpage, we also have links for an appointment. So you can book an appointment that's convenient for you, and I will give you a call and have a chat with you about your concerns or questions. Please follow us on Facebook or on LinkedIn. We're Massey MBA. We post things about our students, about our alumni. We talk about our students having babies. We talk about new career moves. We talk about options for scholarships. We talk about everything to do with the program and the people who are in it. Our guest speakers, I forgot to mention that. Okay, so the most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is mere tenacity, and Amelia Earhart said that, and I would have to say that most of our students say that. The hardest decision that they have is to actually put in that application and make a start. So contact me, the details are there, mba@massey.ac.nz, come straight through to me. I'll be able to help you answer any of your questions, and I look forward to helping you on your MBA journey. Thank you.
Kia ora, I'm James Hollings. I'm the Head of Journalism here at Massey, and I'd like to introduce you to what we do here at Massey with journalism. So first of all, you might be thinking, why Massey? Well, we've got New Zealand's biggest and longest running journalism program. We've had outstanding student achievement in terms of employment for our graduates and awards that they've won. We're the only program in Australasia which is accredited by the ACJMC, which is the American organisation which accredits American journalism programs. All our courses are taught by recognised industry professionals and journalism scholars. You'll gain a communication degree which is recognised as the best in New Zealand and in the world's top 160. And above all, I think our courses have got a unique blend of practical skills which will equip you for the workplace. So what will you actually study at Massey? Well, if you're an undergraduate and you're taking a journalism major, you'll be studying towards the Bachelor of Communication. The Bachelor of Communication, or the BC as we call it, is a very flexible degree. It was pioneered by Massey, and it's now being copied by all New Zealand universities. So as well as journalism, you can take other courses such as expressive arts, theatre, writing, media studies, linguistics, marketing, communication, public relations, photography, for example. So you can really blend your degree and create something that really meets your particular interests and needs. Massey has a really big emphasis on applied learning. This means the kind of practical skills that go alongside the academic study. So for example, in journalism, you'll learn how to shoot and edit video, write news and feature stories, make podcasts, cover the courts, parliament and local councils, as well as study the role and impact in theory of journalism. And you'll get a chance to do an internship in a journalism workplace with one of our accredited employers. So that gives you real-world experience. But just looking at that degree in more detail, what are the courses you'll actually do in the journalism major? In your first year, you'll do Introduction to Journalism. This is a one-semester course which gives you the sort of overview of what journalism is and introduces you to some of the practical skills as well. In your second year, you'll start getting more specialised. You'll take a course in digital media production, which teaches you how to shoot and edit video. You'll also do news media reporting, which gives you really the grounding in news writing and finding news stories, interviewing people. You'll go on to do advanced news reporting, which takes those skills and builds on them with multimedia skills, teaching you how to do that with video and radio. As well as this, in your third year, you'll take courses, more specialised journalism courses, such as Journalism and Politics, which teaches you how to go down and cover Parliament here in Wellington, or local bodies. You'll do a course in Media Law and Ethics, which teaches you the essential media law you need to practice safely as a journalist. And there are optional courses you can take, like investigative journalism, we call it researching journalism, history of journalism, the Publishing Project, which teaches you how to create your own publication, and the Communication Internship, which places you with a journalism employer and gives you real-world experience. So it's a very practical but also robust academic degree, which gives you the kind of experience you need to go and seek a job as a journalist or go on to higher study if you want to. So what else can you do after your degree? Well, as I said, you can apply for a job as a journalist. Several of our BC graduates have gone straight in from this degree into work as journalists. Or you can study for the postgraduate diploma in journalism, or the Master of Management in Journalism. Both of these qualifications give you more advanced and intensive study in journalism, and they're also intended for people who don't have an undergraduate degree in journalism but want to get into the industry. The Postgraduate Diploma in Journalism is our flagship journalism course and has a very good employment rate. Nearly all of our graduates go straight into the industry. And there's one of them there on the right, Adam, who is at the Northern Advocate in Whangarei. And down there at the bottom right is Rewati Koheri, who is at the National Business Review. How do I get into the Postgraduate Diploma in Journalism or Master of Management in Journalism? Well, if you have a degree, and it can be in any discipline, you can just go straight into it. We encourage applications from people with non-journalism degrees because journalism needs people with varied skills, science degree, arts degree, law, whatever it might be. If you don't have a degree, you can still apply for special permission, and you might need a diploma, level 5 or above, or relevant work experience, and these are assessed on a case-by-case basis. What will you study in the postgraduate diploma? Well, you have to take 30 credits of business courses, and then you'll take one of either advanced news journalism, which really gives you a solid grounding in writing and producing and publishing news stories. Students on this course typically produce 20-30 news stories and have them published in mainstream journalism outlets. You'll also do Journalism in Society, which teaches you the place of journalism in society, as well as some of the more technical aspects of journalism, like how to cover courts safely, covering Parliament and local bodies as well. Later on, you can choose more specialised topics like data, investigative journalism, or advanced audio-visual, which is teaching you how to practice journalism in television or in radio. Or you can do a special topic, which gives you a chance to drill into an area of interest of your own, like sports journalism, for example, or health, or arts, or some other aspect. If you go on to do the Master of Management, brackets journalism, you'll have to do another 60 credits of professional practice. And what that really means is you might go into the workplace and produce a portfolio of stories with some critical analysis around them. Or you could do a traditional sort of thesis type report on a particular area. And you can do it either as an oral presentation or written presentation as may be appropriate. And I should just mention that all of these courses, both at undergraduate and postgraduate level, are available by distance, so you don't have to be in Wellington to do them, although we're mainly based in Wellington. You can be around the country. In fact, we have people studying at the moment with us, not only all around New Zealand, but overseas as well. So don't be held back by wherever you happen to be. or you might want to do it part-time while you continue working wherever you are. Lastly, where do our graduates end up? Well, they end up often in mainstream New Zealand news organisations like Stuff, NZME, Radio New Zealand, TV New Zealand, MediaWorks and others. Also at many community and other news organisations. Some of our most well-known ones, or some of our more well-known ones include Carla Gray, who's went off from this course. Some of our more well-known ones would include Carla Gray, who went off from this course to work at the BBC. Charlotte Graham Maclay has worked at the New York Times, The Guardian, is now at Radio New Zealand. And there are many others, too many to name in fact. So that hopefully has given you a bit of an overview of what journalism here at Massey does. We believe we've got a qualification in journalism. We believe we've got qualifications in journalism that are as good as anywhere in Australasia and which are trusted by employers as well. That means that you can be confident that if you come to study at Massey, you've got a good chance of getting a job in this career. Or indeed in other areas as well, such as communication or public relations. A journalism degree can take you a lot of places. So if you think this is for you, we look forward to seeing you. And so if you think this is for you, then come and talk to us at Massey. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.